Welcome to Off the Roster, brought to you by our founding partner, ProLine. You must be 18 plus to bet in store, 19 plus online, and for Ontario residents only. I'm Lindsay Dunn alongside Cabbie and Dan Riccio. Happy Monday to you, buddies. Cabbie, I'll start off
very happy Monday.
A very happy Monday. I'm just curious, what are your vibes like where you are right now, Cabbie?
I lost a bet. A significant one to my health, and I'm not in a good space mentally as a result.
Dan, what space are you in right now mentally?
I'm in the space of I love you, Sam Darnold. I can't believe I've ever said that before. I never did say that before until last night when he just kept throwing dime after dime after dime and putting the Rams to sleep and getting Cabbie down to the grocery store to pick out his favorite brand of sardines.
I can't believe Ginger Jesus had the game of his life.
Ginger Jesus for the win.
That dude should wake up and say hallelujah for the next year, or at least until February 8th when the Super Bowl 60 happens in Santa Clara. But good grief. After
finding out his grandfather's name was Dick Hammer, I'm less surprised. I don't know why, but I'm less surprised after getting that information. It's strange how that works.
I mean, geez, baptizing mother bleepers. We have Ginger Jesus and Dick Hammer. Like, what a lineage.
Don't worry, we will be getting into Leafs and Raptors and everything, but can we go back into the Dick Hammer talk, Dan? What was the career of Ginger Jesus' dad? I want to know what his grandpa, what was his career?
He was an athlete. He was a Marlboro man.
Was he ever?
You know, he was one of the great Marlboro men, and grandfather to Sam Darnold now as well. So shouts to Dick Hammer.
Shout out to laying the hammer down on this Monday morning. This chat is off the rails and I'm here for it. I cannot wait for Tuesday already though, because Cabbie will be eating sardines for the first time in his life live on this show. No flavored, no nothing. It's going to be an amazing moment. I can't wait for you to have to get that whiff when you open the can. It's going to be amazing and you are not impressed, but hey, yeah, taking that moment. This is going to be great. But let's keep these positive vibes going.
No, look at my face. We're about to talk about the Toronto Maple Leafs.
Oh, yeah.
Thanks.
And
that's
the Toronto
vibe
Maple
right
Leafs.
now.
Yeah, that's the vibe right now. It's pretty low, and I feel like some fans would eat a lifetime supply of sardines in order to get the Buds to the playoffs, which is not looking too great. But today, it's Snowmageddon in Toronto and in Ontario and in many places across North America. The Leafs were supposed to have an outdoor practice, but because of the weather, it got moved indoors. But because of the weather and how much snow Toronto got, which is at a historic level right now, it's been canceled. Let's take a look at what some of the responses were online to the announcement that the Leafs are having no indoor practice. They're like, too bad they can't cancel the season. This one's cooked. How about this one? Oof. Cancel the team too. And then, finally, this is just kind of the vibes around this team. William Nylander was the response to them canceling indoor practice.
How dare you?
How dare you? We will talk about that viral moment in a moment, but we do have to start talking about the Toronto Maple Leafs, who it was not a great weekend for them. Friday, they lost to the Knights. Then they lost to Colorado yesterday in the afternoon. Yeah. After the game, they were asked about confidence and urgency, and here's what was said.
I find that that contagious mindset of whether it's just winning puck battles or shooting the puck or small details adds up over time, and confidence comes with that. You can tell we're not playing with a ton of confidence right now, so it can be fleeting at times, so you got to generate it when you don't have it.
I think earlier in the week, just coming out flat in games, didn't feel like we had the energy that we needed to compete at a high level.
How does the team go about getting this confidence back?
Well, that's a choice. Like, come on. Where's the NHL players? I mean, you're paid to play in the NHL. You got to go out and play.
Facts only. Oof. Talk to him, Craig Berube.
Coach was not happy.
I can't even listen to what he has to say because he just looks like he got in the ultimate bar fight of all time. Like, I'm glad he's okay, but guys, like, what is it, like 50 stitches? His eyes are like, yeah.
I still want to know exactly what happened.
Yeah, what do you guys imagine? Like, did an entire barbell just crunch onto his head, or did he, like, was he doing squats and passed out? Like, you know, sometimes when your knees are bent like that, you stand up quickly, you get lightheaded, and then, like, did he fall into the Smith machine, or was he like wrestling a bear? Like, what like,
I think
we need a W5 investigation, or an ESPN 30 for, maybe not ESPN 30 for 30, but get W5 on the scene or something to find out what happened to this man's friggin' head.
I think it's hilarious that you think that I know anything about, like, lifting weights and trying to do squats. I'll be honest, this weekend I tried to do an 8-pound dumbbell, like, behind the head lift where you're trying to get the triceps, and like I'm sore today.
Extension?
2 days later, yeah. 2 days later, 8 pounds, guys. So my thing is, I feel like Craigie B was walking in the gym. He may have saw a nice person in there, tripped, and then smashed his head on the weights. Nice looking lady. How do I put that politely?
Okay.
And so he tripped. That's my theory. Or he fought a bear. It's
plausible.
So Dan,
absolutely.
Yeah. Until we know the real thing, it's just going to lead to speculation. That's what we always say.
Yeah, but they did confirm, like, it did happen in a gym. I don't know what happened, but what happened this weekend on the ice, Dan? Like, my belief meter is usually high. It's just right now I'm quite nervous surrounding this team and this franchise.
It was a tough weekend. You know, they came out flat against the Vegas Golden Knights. I mean, you know, that's tough given what that night meant to a lot of Leaf fans. And we've just seen that script maybe happen a little too often during this era of Maple Leafs hockey. And then Sunday afternoon, we always knew it was going to be a difficult one against the best team in the National Hockey League. The last real great game that they played was the win over the Colorado Avalanche when they went to Denver, surprised everybody, got that OT win over the Avs. And it's kind of been downhill ever since, right? And that's troubling because this team was starting to put together some really good hockey, and now all of a sudden they're talking about confidence issues. I don't see how we've gotten there. You came back from a really successful road trip, 5 games on home ice, and yeah, it's a gauntlet of difficult teams, but you still got to be able to play up to that standard. You think about what they've done since firing Mark Savard, and they've got a pretty good record since then, 9 wins since then. But the only playoff teams they've actually beaten in that stretch are the Colorado Avalanche and the Pittsburgh Penguins during the entirety of that run. So it speaks to, hey, maybe that was just a favorable schedule run and they haven't been able to build on it. And now this run of 4 straight losses, I don't say it's cooked the season, but it's putting the season on the brink because they've got to get themselves out of this hole real quick. Time's running out.
I said in the group chat yesterday as we were watching this matinee game between Colorado and Toronto, I'm like, this is going to be a stretch for me to find some positives, as it's been for the last 6 of 7 games as Toronto's dropped those games. I will say, geez, again, this is kind of thin, and the chat can light me up if it wants. I'm trying to shine some positive vibes on this squad. High danger chances. According to Natural Stat Trick, Toronto led in high danger chances in all situations 19-9. While Toronto struggled to beat Mackenzie Blackwood, who had given up 11 goals in his previous 2 starts, the process of getting pucks on net was consistent. It was a huge bounce back game for Blackwood. And then Toronto also controlled the shot volume. They actually outshot Colorado in significant stretches of the game, and more specifically in the third period, outshooting Colorado 14-6. They finished with 33 shots on goal. And again, as they struggled to beat Mackenzie Blackwood, the process of getting pucks on the net was consistent. This volume is a positive sign that the offense is still generating quality looks, even though the finish is lacking during the slump. Toronto has scored 18 goals in its last 7 games, but are still consistently generating chances. And Colorado avenges its loss to Toronto about 2 weeks ago. And I just will say quickly about the upcoming schedule. Oh, yeah, I said to Lindsay, actually, before I get to that, last week, I was like, hey, remember this feeling, because Toronto was about to go through a gauntlet at home in 5 games, and it went through a gauntlet, and the result is Craig Berube's forehead is how the entire franchise feels right now, because they just got the Incredible Hulk came with an overhand right, boom, and just like it's almost taking the top off. But heading into the Olympic break, versus Buffalo tomorrow. And then it gets a little bit lighter. At Seattle, at Vancouver, at Calgary, and then at Edmonton. Could be a slight turnaround there, Lindsay.
I like these positive vibes. I'm here for
they're
them.
Thin.
But they're thin.
They lost.
We'll
go
with
lost 4 in a row, and they were outscored 18-8 in these 4 games. So
the math isn't mathing.
You're right. The math was not mathing, but I'm trying. I was trying.
Yeah, we're trying, because the season is still like they still have.
There's a lot left to play.
There's a lot still to play for. Okay. They've got 30 games, and Lindsay, you were mentioning, the math is not mathing. And I got the calculator out yesterday. I kind of felt like Jim Carrey in The Mask, putting the little hat on, getting the calculator out, and it was just like, all right, how are we going to do this? How is he going to make this work? Okay. So the math is ugly for the Leafs. Okay. Thinking about the Bruins, who currently sit in the second wild card spot, and they just need a 533 point percentage to get to 95 points on the season. The Leafs with 30 games, to get there, they need to have a 650 point percentage to get to 96 points and avoid the tiebreaker, which the Bruins currently hold. So to put that into bigger context and think about it in recent results, the Leafs are 9-4-4 as a group since they fired Mark Savard. That's a good run of hockey. That's 647 hockey. It's not the required level that they are going to need to get to 96 points. So when you put it into that context, you realize, okay, they're going to have to really play consistent, good hockey for 30 games. They're going to need luck on their side. They're going to need bounces to go their way in order for them to get to that bar. And it's an arbitrary bar. I'm just guessing where the bar might be, but 96 points feels like most years it would get you in. This year, the Leafs, they've got a mountain to climb to get there with 30 games remaining.
One of the most surprising moments for me this weekend surrounding the Leafs, and I think we all know, whether you're watching, listening, you're a fan, and you're a part-time fan or you're fully in, the most surprising moment for me happened Friday. Stolar's getting the start after missing a lot of time with an injury. And then I just heard that Darren Dreger of TSN saying it was actually Stolar's that pushed back, saying that he did not want to go have to play with the Marlies, that he was ready to go and he was ready to just start a game, and he felt like he was ready for a couple of weeks now. I was so shocked by seeing him between the pipes. Obviously that game did not go well, but Dan and Cabbie, I'm just curious what your surprise-o-meter was. And I know we're rewinding a little bit back to Friday, but to see that Stoli got the start between the pipes.
So I will say on this subject, I was on Leafs Morning Take after we were on Friday, and I was surprised. That was just as the news of Anthony Stolarz came out that he was going to start. And I was surprised. You've got Vegas Friday, the Mitch Marner game, tough spot, but they were on the second half of a back-to-back. You're not going to put him in against Colorado. Afternoon games, especially for a goalie coming back off of injury, an afternoon game, goalie coming back off of injury wants to have his full game day routine. You don't get that when you have a 1:30 start. So that's just a no-go for a guy coming off of injury. And then Tuesday night, the Buffalo Sabres, one of the hottest teams in the National Hockey League, also would have been a tough spot for Anthony Stolarz. So no easy spots to get him in. And the other thing, talking to a lot of people in the goalie union and in the goalie community and ex-goalies, they don't like NHL goalies, not to, knock the AHL in any way, but NHL goalies getting a rehab game in isn't necessarily the AHL isn't necessarily the best environment for them. It can be very chaotic. The games are a lot more scrambly than an NHL game. So a guy coming back off of injury, they usually prefer not to go down to the AHL. You can call it excuses, whatever. That's just something I've heard over and over and over again from goalies, guys that have played the position in the league, and people that coach goalies as well. It's just not always the best idea to throw them into an AHL atmosphere.
Yeah, just Sorry, I wasn't sure if you can add something, Cabbie. I
No,
see you have the thing, or we're just listening.
I don't have that much to add. I mean, Dan, you're brilliant there. I was just looking at the splits in the month of January for the three goaltenders. They don't look great. Joseph Woll, save percentage, .899. Goals against, .339. Stolars, .514 goals against because of that game against Vegas. .833 save percentage. And the one shining light is Dennis Hildeby, the Hildebeest. GAA, .275, respectable. Goals against, .913. So they have three horses in that stable, and Hildebeest is clearly the one who's lapping his counterparts so far this month. But I was happy to see Stolarz back. Like you guys, he's got but against maybe a lesser opponent. Like you just throw that mother bleeper into the fire. Game of all the Mitchie game, Eichel's on fire, Mark Stone's on fire. Like, man, that's.
I think Mitch must have had like a really expensive team dinner on the board or something, because Vegas came out flying on Friday and the Leafs were just not ready to match that level, which is disappointing on the Leafs end of it, because, hey, you should probably have that same vibe to it. But I'm kind of stuck on Friday night with that. But yeah, like Vegas, just they came out on all cylinders. They didn't care about the Boston game before going into Toronto. They didn't care about the game in Ottawa yet, when they lose 7-1 on Sunday. This whole trip through the Eastern Canada swing has been all about the Mitchie game in Toronto. And they made it pretty clear with the way they played on Friday compared to how they played against Boston and Ottawa.
I'm so glad I don't have to talk about a Mitchie game until next season, though, guys. I will be honest, that conversation I think we're all tired about. But Stoli, when we talk about confidence, his confidence was very high for him to want to start that game. So I will take that as a positive. In the chat, we have someone mentioning that he was on their fantasy team, did not help them out. We also have saying that I'm not a believer. The stove is hot. So it's, the
belief-o-meter is low. Like
the belief-o-meter is low. And I'm somebody that, my belief-o-meter is always high. I haven't given up hope yet. I still think there's some wonderful moments that hopefully could happen. I know the road getting there is almost impossible, but then we have to switch to, hey, where's the development that could happen? What trades could they make to make this franchise better? But I am not going there until I have to. But let's talk about some other moments that happened in the game. Yes, Dan. They got nothing to trade.
On that note, I mean, not to get on my soapbox here, but like given the situation, okay, this is a public service announcement. I know I'm not the president of Leafs Nation, but I'm going to say this for the rest of Leafs Nation, a public service announcement to Brad Treliving. Step away from the phone, Brad. Just step away. You can take calls. If people are calling about Bobby McMahon or Scott Law, you can take the call, see what they want to say, if they want to take on any of your pending unrestricted free agents. But you need to not be calling to maybe trade for somebody to try and help this thing out right now. You're too far out of the playoffs. You spent too many assets last year. If there is anything that Leafs Nation wants from their club right now, it's to show that patience is needed in this time. You want to give this team a chance to get to the playoffs? They got to do it. The guys that are in that room, they don't add to this. There's no reason to add to this. This is a team on the outside of the playoffs looking in. You've already spent your 2 first-round picks in the next 2 years in trades you made last season. You spent how many first-round picks the last 9 years while you've been going through this? And it's been a really successful run of hockey outside of the playoffs. But there was reasons to add to those teams. There is no reason to add to this current team. If anything, you should be leaning more towards selling some of the unrestricted free agents, trading them away, regroup, get some trade assets. Maybe you can make additions in the summer to add to this group. But right now, unless they turn it around quickly and start winning some hockey games, I don't see a reason to be picking up the phone and trading for anything to add to this current roster.
Can we get a talk that talk, Cabbie?
Talk your dog, Dan Riccio.
This is like I said,
baby.
public service announcement from Leafs, bro. Yeah, public service announcement from Leafs Nation. Okay, the future is now what should be more in the sights than saving this season right now.
I'll be honest, that is depressing me on this Monday morning. So I'm going to continue to talk about the Leafs and do a hard turn to something that made me laugh yesterday. During the game, they showed the injured players, the players that are scratched on the broadcast, including Chris Tanev, who I think they did so dirty in this clip. And they even posted it on social media because who doesn't love a good drumstick? Well, so you got William Nylander there.
There's
Chris
Willie.
Tanev.
And his Sugo hat, of course. Oh, not just a nice big bite. It comes out of nowhere, too.
Of a drumstick, too.
I mean,
Yes.
this man just enjoying his ice cream. You know, he has no idea
they
that he's on
posted it
camera.
out there. They did him dirty. And I was like, hey, I won't.
Look, the Tan Man's had a tough year. You know, he's blocking shots.
He's
He's
gonna
had a
enjoy a
couple of
little
bad
treat.
injuries. You know, let him enjoy his drumstick.
He's going to enjoy a nice little treat. And you know who I think had his back after that was William Nylander, who is catching so much heat for this moment. So that is him flipping the bird to the broadcast camera. Chris Johnson reporting today that the NHL is looking into his incident per sources. So it's possible he could get fined for flipping the middle finger. And I flip the middle finger to if he gets a fine. I know people are salty about this morning. I thought it was a comedic relief. I didn't feel like he was personally flipping me off. And if he was, hell yeah, if he even knows who I am. But I took it as, hey, they're down right now. And did William Nylander just flip off the camera? That is what happened to me. There are worse things in life. And then he had to say something on Instagram saying he was frustrated. And let me tell you, if I'm frustrated and I'm flipping somebody off, I do not look like that.
With a smile? Like flipping someone off, flipping the bird with a smile? Yeah.
No.
I'm with you, Yancy. I mean, you just put his teammate on camera eating, and they have so in that suite, they have the broadcast above them on the monitor. And then, you know, William, he's been up there a few games now, and he can see when the red light is pointed at him, and he just, I don't know. I mean, I get NHL is going to want to just, you know, lay down the law, and here's a $5,000 fine or $10,000, whatever it amounts to be. But I mean, it's just, it feels pretty benign based on what's happening in the world, what's happening south of the border, even here, not to the same as south of the border. And no disrespect to our homies, our American homies who are dialed into this stream, but like, there's a lot of craziness going on right now. And like a little middle finger on an afternoon hockey game it's not the worst, but I understand if the NHL levies a fine because it feels like it needs to. Like, whatever. On to the next
They
thing.
can fine them for other stuff they don't fine people about. Whoa.
I could just imagine, like, there's a bunch of Maud Flanderses out there like, won't somebody think of the children? And it's like, yeah, it's an afternoon game. There's probably kids watching. So is it the best thing for William Nylander to do? Nobody's going to sit here and say, yeah, but also like the way he's laughing at the camera, it's kind of like, you see your bud across the room and you can't say anything to him, but you see each other, your eyes catch each other and you're just like, yeah, I'm going to flip him the bird because that's my bud, you know, and that's the way that we act with each other. That's kind of what it felt like to me. And I'm sure there was, you know, Nylander like, okay, like we've seen enough of this camera on us, like the entire game. And every time there's all these discussions about my outfits every single game that's going on. So yeah, like, oh, you're looking at me again. Okay, well, here's the bird. And I get it from all those perspectives, but you know what? This has been one of the least penalized seasons in the National Hockey League's history. Like, I feel like suspensions are way down. I haven't got the calculator out for those numbers, but as I've talked about before, George Peros, it doesn't seem to get off as you know what for pretty much anything these days. Boarding is basically legal. Hits to the head don't matter anymore. Player safety's gone out the window. But no, if somebody flips the bird to the camera, we got to look into this and make sure that it's dealt with properly so that this does not happen again. I mean, come on. Really? Like, that's what we're most concerned about here. If the NHL was disciplining players the way that they should be, I would feel less strong about this. But in what is such a nothing moment where we all need to lighten up, at the end of the day, we are just watching hockey. Let's have some perspective about this.
The two different perspectives I'm seeing on this online is people saying, hey, this team is not playing well. This just shows how not serious they are. Like, again, calm down.
He can't help them from the press box. What's he supposed to do?
Yeah.
Like,
and then I asked
he wants to be on the ice. He's seeing his guys getting crushed out there. You can't tell me that Nylander doesn't want to be out there helping him, and he can't. So yeah, I can understand his frustration. Is he immature? You know what? People saying William Nylander is immature. It's like, okay, yeah, you know, like, have you not noticed William Nylander? Like, he's genuinely his authentic self almost all of the time. And I don't want to ever see him not have to be that.
No.
Sorry.
I'm here with you on that one. We're all in agreement of this because I understand. No, I'm not surprised actually because of the reaction of people being like, this shows how not serious they are. And then when you look at the organization, it's a very serious organization, and that is nothing wrong with that. They're a business, but you know that the brass at the Toronto Maple Leafs were not happy to see that viral moment. I thought it was funny. I asked the chat right now, make sure to follow along, like, and subscribe on YouTube underneath the Nation Network. And I asked, like, what were your thoughts on this? And Little Willie Styles, happy to see you're joining us right now, saying, not really. If someone flips me off, I flip them back off. That's my reaction. So it made me think, how many people were flipping off the TV or screen, wherever they were watching when they're at home? Oh, but my gosh.
Being down 3-0 or I guess it was 3-0 at that point before Max Domi scores the power play goal, and then the empty netter by Brock Nelson. But even after the Brock Nelson gets a hat trick, I'm sure some more birds were flipped from people's couches to the TV if they were still watching at that point. Actually, it was more entertaining than the Broncos and Patriots game, so maybe they were still watching. But just, I like that response from Little Willie Styles.
Yeah, the chat is here. So we have a new chat member today. See Melanie in there saying hi, saying was not offended by it, like not in the slightest. Just leave them be. But I will not be flipping off the TV tomorrow because the Leafs, they will be taking on the Buffalo Sabres. We had a contest for anyone. Hey, we said, make sure to like and subscribe because we are sending Dan to the Leafs game to welcome him back to Toronto from Vancouver. Yep. And we asked you guys, hey, who would you like to see him sit with in the ProLine most interesting seats in the house? We had a lot of hilarious answer, but the winner, which was done in a random draw before the show, is Ash Jill Me, who suggested Connor from Heated Rivalry. So congratulations to Ash Jill Me. You will be going to a Leafs game. We appreciate you listening, liking, and subscribing, and for your suggestion. We can't wait to hear how you enjoy ProLine's most interesting seats in the house. But we weren't able to get Connor from Heated Rivalry to join you in those seats tomorrow, Dan.
I mean, it's the hottest show on the planet right now. So I can
we tried. This
I can understand
the
maybe
hottest show
how
on
he
the
wasn't
planet,
able.
My guy. So
this
here's
is true.
What's going
Facts
to
only.
happen. We went through the comments and the suggestions, and we're going to put it up on screen who you are going to sit with at the game tomorrow, which if you are watching the game, there is no way you can miss it. The Green Man.
No.
Yes.
Like
Vancouver?
Like the green leotard guys. Okay.
The green leotard
Both
guy,
of them?
and I cannot wait to see you in a green leotard, Dan, is what I'm saying. Well, like I can wait, but maybe the public would love to see that.
I will gladly sit with one of the green men. I will not be wearing any green leotards here, guys.
Okay, thank you. First of all, but wait, there are two of them. So it's like one of them going to be the in between the boards reporter, and then one sitting with Dan, or will one be sitting on your lap, Dan, and the other one in the other? Because there's only two seats. So we're just like, is it one of the green men, or is it both of the green men? I guess we'll see tomorrow on the broadcast.
We'll see tomorrow. We're gonna be right behind Mike Johnson and making sure that he has the most uncomfortable game ringside of his life. That's trying to help the Leafs get one over the Buffalo Sabres.
Are they even going to be like? They must be like. How are they going to get here? Where there's a snowmageddon in Toronto? Like, are they going to be able to land?
Or they got green man can do anything.
I don't know. We're flying in the green men, or one of the green men, for this game tomorrow night. So let's hope they get there.
Not only make sure it happens. Thank you for your guys' suggestions. Thank you for liking and subscribing on YouTube. We can also, again, I'm so excited for tomorrow for a number of reasons because, yes, on this show, Cabbie will be eating sardines for the first time in his life. Amazing. And then, I'm bringing this up so many times. I'm so excited. And then Dan will have to sit with one of the green men tomorrow in the most interesting. I'm
just gonna sit there and he's gonna be doing handstands and stuff. It's just
maybe handstands.
I don't think I can do it. Remember, I told you I as a fruit, I'm a cantaloupe. Cantaloupes don't do handstands. So
wait till he eats you from the inside out. I shouldn't have said that. That was too far. But anyway,
continue.
That's too far. You said cantaloupes, anyway.
Yeah, that's fair.
Yeah, we already had Dick Hammer talk. Why not go there? But you know what? Where we're going to go? We are going to fly to Oklahoma City, where the Toronto Raptors were finishing up a 5-game road trip. Yes, we will give a round of applause.
Vibes up on this show. Beautiful road trip for the Raptors.
4-1 on this road trip, winning 4 in a row. And you know what else happened? The Thunder suffered their first consecutive back-to-back losses at home since 2023. They lost the game before to the Pacers. And this is the Raptors' first win there since February of 2022. Today I woke up, checked out NBA.com, the top headline, Raptors snatch win from Thunder in OKC. It is the first time this season I've seen the Raptors have the top headline. So let's effing go, boys.
About time NBA.com starts giving some respect to the Raptors.
IQ, he got the chain after the game, and he was asked about, let's see what the exact quote was, catching fire on this road trip. Here's what he had to say, and then Jakob Poeltl, who returned after missing several games.
I didn't catch fire. I told you I don't do that up and down stuff. When stuff going good, everybody want to be, but when stuff going not so good to other people's eyes, then everybody want to have a problem. But I'm somebody that stay even keeled throughout the whole thing. I'm gonna keep continuing to work, keep continuing to watch the film, taking care of my body.
You know, Scott, Defensive Player of the Year, All-Star. Making big plays hard.
Guys, what I took about listening
from quickly
to the post game is both IQ and Jacoby called Scottie Scott. I can't wrap my head around that. That is what I took. Scott. I was like, I had to go rewatch it. Like, none of us called him Scott.
Do you think Scottie went to them, had like a team talking, like, can we just like start calling me Scott? Like, I feel like Scottie's a little too young. I want to feel like, Scott's got a little different vibe to it, like I've grown into being that superstar. Yeah, he's more mature now. So he's Scott rather than Scottie.
I imagine he does that with glasses and like wearing a suit and like an overcoat. Like and maybe even carrying like a briefcase. It's like, guys,
he goes into Ankar Temple's closet, puts on his suit, grabs his briefcase, and is like, you will now call me Scott from now on.
Yeah.
Just what a game and what a road trip for them. Mamu having a great game and a great moment we'll get to, but Jacoby, after missing so much time, came in. He had a great game. At moments he was on SGA. When you were watching this, I'm sure flipping between watching the Seattle Rams game, Dan, because you were worried about having to eat pork brains. What did you make of this road trip and this performance?
The road trip was unbelievable. To get 4 wins during a difficult road trip. Salute to the Raptors, who've now taken 3rd spot in the Eastern Conference with this 4 straight wins. And last night, going up against OKC, who's going through it. They've got some injuries, and since they were 23-1, I think they're 12-8 since then. So yeah, they've cooled off quite a bit from where they were going into the NBA Cup final, but that doesn't take anything away from this. And you had great performances all across the board. IQ, Scottie was great in the late game as well. But for me, this one, like if I could give out the chain, I think I would give it to Darko in this one. He had an incredible game plan against the Oklahoma City Thunder. And you saw it in the first half. Lu Dort had 4 threes, but that's because the Raptors were forcing the Thunder to look for Lu Dort. And they were just like, okay, like this is the poison pill we're going to take. If Lu Dort's going to beat us, then that's the way it's going to go. And they did that all night. SGA, who's been on an incredible heater. What was he averaging? Like 39 points over his last 4 games going into this one. And the Raptors held him to 23, 24 last night. This was a big time win from the Raptors, but also from the coach who set them up really well. And you mentioned Jacoby going on SGA there in the 4th quarter. It's another sign of a coach who's really got the buy-in from his team, because he's getting each guy to do their job. And, hey, I need you to do this for me tonight. I need you to do that for me tonight. And when most people look at the Raptors like, they don't really have that superstar team, that superstar vibe feel to them, but they've got as good a team vibe to them as anybody in the NBA. And Darko is really pulling those strings well right now.
While we do give you credit for crediting Darko for his contributions to the win last night, Scottie Barnes is elite, and that's where I want to shine most of my praise. I screamed it in the group chat last night.
Yes, he did.
While he had a modest 10 points, he influenced the game's outcome through his playmaking and elite defense. It was another game flirting with a triple-double, 10 points, 10 rebounds, and 8 assists. But his most significant contribution is like the under 30 seconds to go in the game. The game's within 1 or 2 points. He blocked 7'1" Chet Holmgren body to body on the perimeter. I was like, that's when I'm totally locked into the Raptors game. I was flipping back and forth between the Seattle Seahawks and LA Rams game, but Scottie Barnes is bleeping elite. He is a superstar, and we have one in Toronto. A few other fantastic plays from Scott Barnes. There was a moment where quickly grabs a rebound, outlets it to Scottie. He has a nice dish to Ochai Agbaji. Big finish tied at 81. Later in the fourth quarter, Scottie had a nice read, fed Sandro Mamukelashvili, who had a nice bucket. Raptors were down by 3. Raptors were plus 14 on the boards and eventually cut the deficit and took over the game. There was that big play with Scottie blocking Chet Holmgren, which was at 21.7 seconds left in the game. Raptors led 101-99 at that point. Shed gets fouled by SGA. Jamal Shed misses both free throws. Scottie tips the ball. Raptors grab possession. Quickly is fouled immediately. Emmanuel quickly hits both of his free throws. It's now 103-99. Raptors hang on to win 103-101. And as you teased it earlier, Dan, we have to give credit to the Raptors' lockdown defense on Shai Gilgeous-Alexander. This mother bleeper's averaging 32 points in the month of January. And he just had 9 points in the first half, and he only scored 3 in the fourth quarter. Not incredible, but substantial defense by Jakob Poeltl in the fourth. SG had a bucket, and 1 free throw. Like, this was just magnificent, a magnificent team effort on the reigning MVP, who can get his shot from anywhere, who can light you up at all times. But in this particular game, huge credit to Toronto and its defense to hold the MVP to 24 points in this game. And Toronto this was its signature win so far in the season, and finishing this 5-game road swing 4-1. Lindsay, were you as excited as I couldn't even speak just now? But were you as excited, because you maybe were not as locked into that football game, but absolutely dialed into this Raptors OKC game?
Yeah, I absolutely was not locked into that football game except for checking the score to make sure who was going to eat what after this because of the bet. But you screamed it in the chat, but with Scottie Barnes, I think he again puts the NBA and the voters of this on notice for the all-defensive team. You have to have already considered him for this moment. The defense that he's been bringing night after night this season is outstanding. The stats don't lie. Numbers don't lie. I am really happy for the Toronto Raptors and where they are right now. And when you look at who they've been out with for several games, we've discussed this multiple times about, hey, they have injuries. So does every other team. But every single player has stepped up and when somebody's down, somebody else tries to step up. That was a huge West Coast road trip to go 4-1. Outstanding performance by them. And an outstanding performance happened on the court yesterday between Canadian Lu Dort and Sandro Mamukelashvili when they had this WWE moment that we have multiple angles for. So you see this stuff.
Man.
It looks dirty,
Lou.
but he's
does it ever? I
boy.
mean, geez, Louis, go take a shower, bro.
Yeah. But
I mean, Mamu could have went for like the Brock Lesnar F5 here, but he chose peace over violence. You know, he chose peace over violence.
This is some diplomatic behavior here. Just not de-escalating the situation between countries, Toronto and or Canada and the United States.
Man, he has one arm holding on his shoulder, like parading him around. I think he's listed around 220. I feel like he's bigger than that with all of the muscle.
He's a heavy 220. He's a heavy 220.
He's a heavy 220.
Yeah.
Like
he's built like a linebacker. Just imagine a 6'4" linebacker is basically Lu Dort's
and
frame.
He's holding him by one man. or one hand, one arm, and you're just like, oh my goodness. And he helped him get down safely because that could have been nasty. And the memes from that have been hilarious. So we'll leave it at that because I'm sure everyone's imagination can go where it wants to go. But I just looked like, that man is muscle. He is a G. And there's this photo going around on social media from him like 10 years ago where he's standing in front of a car and he's looking all tough. Like, that is that attitude.
We're talking about Mamu. Yeah. Just all swag, 100,000 trillion swag.
Can I just say, Mamu is probably like the best contract in the NBA. I mean, 100%. Bobby Webster, the Raptors in general, getting Mamu at that price and what he's been able to provide this team, easily one of the best budget-friendly contracts across the association. And Mamu just keeps delivering for this Raptors team.
I'm just going to shake my head at the comment that was put in by one of our producers on the chat right now. Absolutely not going to read that. But what I will read you is a little bit of a downer that happened involving Jakob Poeltl. I have to make sure I had the injuries correct. I almost said Jacoby, but he was back. We're happy to see him back. So it was announced that on Sunday that Jakob Poeltl, who's been managing ongoing back issues, returned to Toronto, has received targeted pain relief treatment. A return of timeline has not yet been established, and his status will be updated when he returns to practice. Yak has missed a lot of games for the Raptors. Like, my heart goes out for him because back issues, especially, they've been trying anything they can to get him back on the court. He's had multiple attempts where he's either tried to come play, he played a couple minutes and then he couldn't do it. He would do warm-ups and then he just wasn't feeling great. This is an issue, but when you look at the fact that Yak not returning has not been there and the Raptors have still managed to find success and break that zone defense, there's still a lot to be happy for. And the fact that, hey, they're ahead of the Knicks in the standings, who they will be taking on this Wednesday. I'm excited for this game. I'm excited for the matchup, but I'm curious. Yes, Cabbie.
Quick notice, someone who has been stepping up for Jakob Poeltl in his absence, the contract that Dan was speaking of, $2.4 million. So that is an absolute steal for what Sandro Mamukelashvili has been providing for Toronto this year. I had to look it up, Dan, and I didn't realize it was that low. And he has a player option for 2.8 next year. I'm sure he's going to say, no bueno. Let me hit let me renegotiate with the squad or just hit the open market. A great deal by Bobby Webster to get that team-friendly cap hit at $2.46 million.
The biggest question, I know Rosie in the chat was saying, I don't want them to trade anybody. The vibes are too good right now with this team. And I totally get that feeling. This is the Raptors, first year coming out of the rebuild, essentially. And, it might be best to just see where this season takes you and maybe tweak over the course of the offseason. We'll see what Bobby Webster does. But the Raptors have been listed in a lot of different rumors. They've been connected to the Sacramento Kings with Domantas Sabonis and John Morant and all these different types of things. But ultimately, if they're going to make one of those trades, one of Poeltl quickly or, one of the big contracts, RJ Barrett, has to go out the other way. And the Poeltl one, it's prevalent because he hasn't been able to get on the court. You just signed him to an extension at 4 years. I think it was $104 million total, so $26 million per in July of this past year, and it hasn't gone well. But if you are going to use Poeltl in a trade to get, let's say, Domantas Sabonis from the Sacramento Kings, Sacramento is going to want quite a bit just to take on Poeltl's contract, never mind what they would like to get in exchange for Sabonis. So it just makes the trade machinations, getting into the trade machine online for the Raptors, it makes it difficult. I don't know how Bobby Webster is going to try and figure all that out. And I can't imagine, if Poeltl is your big trade piece, there's too many teams willing to take on that contract right now with his ongoing back issues.
Remember this moment, because I'm going to say it and I hope I don't have to eat my words. Bobby Webster can do no wrong. In Bobby, I trust.
Bobby, we trust.
Bobby, we trust.
In Bobby, we trust. Oh, man, it just felt like we were in church right now. I did not like that feeling. So let's go to the NFL, where the weather church or weather god was not favorable to the Denver Broncos. I'm going to say they had some moments that did not go in their favor, but we officially know who will be going to the Super Bowl, that being the Patriots and Seattle. Some people booing, not Dan, who is just, what kind of celebration is that? That is the whitest thing I've ever seen.
Well, yep. It's fair. I can't even.
Sorry.
It's fine.
That was
amazing.
Like
it's facts only. 38-year-old white guy.
For you.
That's my celebration.
What I just took out of this is we need to get you some glow sticks and get you to a club because you would tear it up.
Look,
yes,
my palazzo days are over. Okay, that was well back in the day.
Palazzo.
Yes.
Yeah. Well, someone from Regina wouldn't know
dancing.
palazzo, but yeah.
Yeah, I sure as heck wouldn't. But someone from Regina knows this song. Cabbie, when you hear this song, I'm going to hum it terribly. I want you to tell me what it's called. And if you can see your screen, I want you to see the dance moves I do. Na 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 na. Hey, na 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 na.
Oh, the Macarena?
Dan was grilling me before because I said it wrong. He says, that's not how you say it. So, Dan, how are we supposed to say it?
Well, it's the Macarena. Like, I don't know. Like,
you roll the R because you get like a little bit of Latin flair.
Okay. It was Cab. You said it better than Macarena was how it was said in the pre-show
like
chat. So like when Macarena was said, I was like, well, okay, hold on here. It's not the Macarena. Nobody says Macarena. Like if you're singing the song to yourself while you're doing the stupid dance, nobody's like,
2 out of 4 of us said Macarena. Me and producer Nick both said Macarena, and I also like macaroni, and I
Macarena or Macarena. Yeah, actually, the way that Dan said it is probably the right way.
It's the right way, but it's not how I think most people say it.
Well, most people in Regina, wherever Nick is from.
You were close to that, buddy boy. You weren't that far off, Cabbie. But
I'm not saying Macarena. I don't say car and I don't say garage.
I say garage, supper, and you will be not saying a lot except for gross when you eat sardines tomorrow because your team lost. And Dan was going to have to eat pork brains if Seattle had lost the game. So what was the stress level yesterday? Was it the fact that you didn't want to eat the food you could eat, or you really wanted Seattle to win, Dan? Because you almost had to eat pork brains. It was close.
As a longtime Seattle Seahawks fan, I was very happy to see them go to the Super Bowl. But in this instance, I was more happy to not have to eat pork brains. I don't know how else to say this. It was just like the idea of pork. I was Googling pork brains over the weekend, and it's like pork brains in milk gravy and like out of the can. They even look like you would
brains.
Yeah. Even like out of the can, they look like you would think a brain looks, like with the different lining and stuff. And
let's stop. Too early for it.
Yeah,
too early.
No, I'm good. I'm very happy. Yeah, Cab, enjoy your sardines. I can't wait to see you smash some sardines tomorrow.
I've never had sardines before, and I've been warned that the smell is quite pungent. It was my suggestion too. I'm like, how bad can they be? I guess I'll see tomorrow. It was that was. Seattle versus LA was the Super Bowl. That was like what I know that February 8th is going to be a bit of a disappointment based on what we got. Let me collect myself here. The 3 games between Seattle and LA this year were the point differential was 7 points. 21-19, LA wins the first match. 38-37, Seattle wins in overtime on that Thursday night. And then last night, 31-20. It was just incredible. One of the key factors, one of the key stats in this game was third down efficiency. LA was 1 for 8, and Seattle was 7 for 13. Ginger Jesus had the game of his life in the biggest moment of his career. So credit to Ginger Jesus. I also want to credit before Dan waxes poetically about his squad. Kenneth Walker III, K9-3, was unbelievable. This mother bleeper, who's in a contract year, rushed for 1,027 yards this season. He delivered 116 yards of 3 touchdowns against San Francisco last week. He had 109 yards of total offense last night against the Rams, added a TD. The bros out there looking like Madden, having guys like juking guys out of their cleats. Jackson Smith and Jigba was just elite. 12 targets, 10 catches, 153 yards, and a touchdown. It was just like one super nitpicky part. And Sean McVay, when I worked at Bleacher, Adam Lefko had this interview with Sean McVay, who was, I believe, it was in his first season with LA. This guy has a photographic memory. So I imagine this particular play will probably lead to many restless nights for the Rams head coach.
Yeah.
When they score, when Davante Adams scores and it's 31-26 towards the end of the third quarter, the decision to kick the extra point versus going for the super nitpicky versus going for the 2-point conversion. If they make the 2-point conversion, it's a 1-possession game. But if they decide to go for the extra point, it's still a 1-possession game or one score game, not 1 possession, 1 score game. But if they convert the 2-point conversion, that Seattle's up 31-28. Then later in the game, around 5 minutes, that 4th and 4 that the Terrence Ferguson miss, you kick a field goal there, it's 31-31. And then, the game goes on to however it goes on. But in the third quarter, no one would have expected that 0 points would have been scored in the fourth quarter based on the tempo and the scoring in the first 3 quarters. It was incredible theater. It was the Super Bowl. Seattle and LA gave us 3 of the top 7 best games this season or 10 best games this season. It was awesome. And like salute to you, Dan, and your squad for winning. But I just couldn't believe when I'm seeing the throws that say, and like 20 plus air yard throws. Like this guy was mother bleeping. He was like Tom Brady was calling the game. Mother bleeper unlocked some the Tom Brady pack because it was incredible. So I gotta give credit to Seattle. I'm sorry that I was ranting so much there. I'm really just trying to filibuster because I don't look forward to eating a thing of sardines tomorrow. I'm so sorry. I almost slipped there. Almost had a William Nylander.
I thought a who? What now? Yeah. I am loving this. We're all 12s because Cabbie, if you were cheering for the Patriots, no. Oh no.
No, nobody's.
That's when it comes to
apparently New York is cheering for the Patriots.
Yeah,
they lit up the Empire State Building in Patriots colors, which was the ultimate strange.
And then tweeted it out as though it's like, hey, we want to recognize our rival from Boston. Like what? Yeah. It's just such a weird one. The Empire State Building's own Twitter account tweeted that out. Bizarre. Yeah. Weird behavior.
It's stupid. But when we speak about tweets, when it comes to Drake May, did he silence the haters? Robert Griffin III posted this yesterday saying Drake May faced the toughest path to the Super Bowl in NFL playoff history. No quarterback has ever beat 3 top 5 defenses to get to the Super Bowl until Drake May. Chargers were number 5 defense. Texans were number 1. Broncos were number 2 defense. Put some respect on Drake May's name. And I'm pretty sure, Cabbie, I heard you just say, "Oh, Jesus."
Like this is ridiculous. I mean, we should actually give credit to New England's defense and not the defenses that Drake May faced, because the mother bleeper, he was 10 for 21 with 86 passing yards yesterday. I mean, he made up for
it. They couldn't stop him. They couldn't stop him. How many third down runs did he get? Yeah,
the segment is now called Mother Bleeper.
I mean,
I appreciate a good contrarian take. I know what Robert Griffin III is doing there. He's got tongue firmly planted in his cheek as he's sending out that tweet because you look at the narrative and the Patriots have had the easiest run to a Super Bowl maybe ever. I was looking it up yesterday. The Patriots opponents, the Pats defeated. Their combined record this year was 93-146 during the regular season. That was the combined record of the opponents they had over the course of the season. They had an incredibly easy schedule after they were dog bleep last year. Mike Vrabel takes over, and they're really good. Drake May has obviously taken a step. That defense has been really good. I think the Titans probably regret giving up on Mike Vrabel when they did. But all that being said, through these playoffs, they did have to go through 3 elite defenses. And while it wasn't always pretty, and Drake May didn't put up the great numbers that he had to, he made plays when he absolutely had to. It is reminiscent of early career Tom Brady in that way that, yeah, maybe his numbers don't jump off the page, but he's making plays when it matters most in the game. And ultimately, we'll never know. One of the biggest what ifs for Broncos fans is going to be like if Bo Nix doesn't get hurt in the second to last play of the game in the divisional round, how different does this AFC Championship game look? But ultimately, the Patriots got the job done, and Drake May is going to live off this probably for a long time.
It's interesting that you evoke the name Tom Brady in that he was helped massively by the defenses that New England had in the early part of this century. Just a quick note, for the third straight playoff game, New England's defense dominated, not the defenses that Drake May faced. The Patriots dominated Justin Herbert, 6 sacks, 1 lost fumble, dominated the worst offensive line in football, which belongs to the Houston Texans. CJ Stroud was sacked 3 times and threw 4 interceptions. And then Jarrett Stidham,
yeah,
3 sacks, and he threw a pick towards the end of the game. Like, you can't take a victory lap and feel good about beating the fourth backup quarterback ever who had never started in a regular season game that season, starting in a playoff game. Jarrett Stidham is the guy that you had to beat 10-7. And because the weather, which affected both teams, nobody could hit a field goal. There was actually 1 for 5. There was a field goal made in that game because the wind was so powerful, and a blizzard descended on Mile High Stadium in the second half. It's just, we'll have more on this later. Just like my hatred for the New England Patriots as institutional cheaters. But anyway, salute to the Patriots. You guys advanced to the 12th, your 12th ever Super Bowl. Hooray, it's an NFL record. Great, But you're about to get slapped by Ginger Jesus and the best defense in the NFL.
Yeah.
I'm here for Ginger Jesus.
I cannot wait for that. I do salute to Cabbie. Had a great tweet yesterday. The Titanic meme. It's been 84 years. It's been 84 years. No, it's been 7 years for the New England Patriots. And also, there was another tweet from a Jets fan like, hey, if Sam Darnold beats the Patriots in the Super Bowl, it was worth drafting Sam Darnold 3rd overall from the New York Jets. And I feel like I need to issue an apology to one Sam Richard Darnold.
Let's listen. Let's play apology music.
So I'm sorry, Sam, because I was not a believer when the Seahawks. I mean, I could put aside your NFL debut, which I couldn't put aside. I will always remember you throwing a bunch of picks on Monday Night Football, starting the season with the New York Jets, and you're like caught on the sidelines being like, man, I'm seeing ghosts out there. I'm like, man, this guy is cooked. He's never going to be anything. And for a while, I was super right. I was super right about that when you went to Carolina and you played for the Buccaneers? He went to San Francisco for a cup of coffee, was the backup to their most recent Super Bowl appearance to Brock Purdy. And then you show up in Minnesota and win 14 games. But even then I didn't believe. I was like, man, you see what he did in the playoffs? Like, this guy ain't it. And then the Seahawks traded Geno Smith and they replaced Geno Smith with Sam Richard Darnold. And I was like, this is not a good move. Like, Geno Smith is way better. He may not be great, but Geno Smith is way better than Sam Darnold will ever be. And I have never been happier to be so wrong in my life than I am in this very moment with Sam Darnold throwing 3 tutties in the NFC Championship game to beat the bitter rival LA Rams over 300 yards. Did not throw a pick, which was his Achilles heel all through the course of the season. When he had 20 turnovers total, he had the 4-pick game against the Rams earlier when the Rams beat them 21-19. I mean, Sam had his issues through the course of the season, but we saw the best version of Sam Darnold, and he outdueled the player that is most likely to be or should be the MVP this year in Matt Stafford. And every time Stafford came down the field and threw a touchdown and tried to get the Rams back in the game, Darnold took the ball and responded right away and put more points up on the board to get the Seahawks further ahead again. And I will just, I will live on I didn't believe in you, Sam, but I'm here to say sorry. And Seahawks, me and the rest of the 12s, we collectively believe heading into the Super Bowl against the Patriots.
My one friend who does it, first of all, well said. I am sure he accepts your apology when he hears this later and watches it. My one friend messaged me who does not watch sports at all. She's like, why are they all saying they're 12s? Do they actually think they're that hot? I was like, oh my God, I'm muting you. I do think, you
as somebody who adopted being a 12, I do think it is like one of the dumbest things in sports. Like the 12s where, like I don't know. I think it is so cringe. Like when you go into Lumen Field and everybody's got their 12 jersey on, 12 fan. And then, there's me last night watching on TV and I'm like, oh, when they need that fourth down stop, so now I'm one of them. So I thought it was the cringiest thing ever, and now I'm absolutely right.
What a great rallying cry, though. Not that part, but just as bonding everybody as we are part of this squad. We are the 12th man on the field, and it's been the loudest building in the NFL for decades. I remember during the Legion of Boom Russell Wilson era, like they were either setting like minor earthquakes in the Pacific Northwest or setting records for the level of decibels. Like, it sounds like an F-14 or a couple F-14 screaming over Lumen Field. I think it's cool. Right? And we're from Toronto, so like we don't care about the West Coast, but it's a cool thing.
Stafford was getting real close to his center last night to make sure that they could get the silent countdown right. Dude. A lot of butt taps going on for the silent count.
Wow, this whole chat, if people take some things out of context, it's really great. How we started the chat off talking about Ginger Jesus, his grandpa's name, but tomorrow when Cabbie will be eating his sardines, I'll be doing that with you. Oh, it's going to be amazing. He is not happy at all. I thought his camera froze for a second, but you may also potentially owe an apology, Dan, to Puka for his pregame fit. I believe you were shading him a bit. So if you have not seen his fit, take a look. And Dan, give us your fashion profile take.
I don't get it, man. Like, is he going, like, is it Halloween? Is he dressed up as a science nerd? Like, what's going on here, Puka?
Science nerds don't dress like that. That'd be the best looking science nerd dressed ever.
That's a fire fit, bro. The
is
royal
it a fire
blue
fit? I don't know.
Yeah, double-breasted, coming in, letting the locks flow with the glasses. Yeah,
man, I don't know, man. I've seen some weird pregame fits. That one wasn't it for me. That was I was expecting more out of Puka Nacua. He's now the internet meme.
What scientist were you hanging out with is what I want to know, because in no way have I ever seen a scientist portrayed as that. I would have went with maybe
he looks like a Marvel movie scientist. I don't know.
Yeah.
Maybe
an evil villain. There you go. In like a State Farm commercial. Yeah. Or he could have been Powerline, the singer from a Goofy movie, if they switched the outfit to blue instead of green. And you may not get it, but hey, it was. I like that he had a bit of flavor, but I so hardly disagree on the nerdy scientist thing.
What would definitely not me. I'm not. I don't have that much flair.
I don't.
We're getting a blue suit.
Well, you probably do have a blue. You probably have a navy blue suit, right? You don't have anything that bright.
I actually have a blue suit like that. Actually, I did. I wore it.
Guys, so why are you hating, bro?
I don't know. It was just a strange one, man. I was just
wear that to the Leafs game tomorrow, sitting by the green man. Wear your nice blue suit.
Yeah.
Was anybody?
You know what?
A quick question. Was anybody surprised that when Nacua makes that catch with like a second left that he slides out of bounds, but because like I like learned the rule, I thought the clock stops as soon as you go out of bounds with possession of the ball, but they're like, where he, takes it 2 steps and his butt like slide. He was down and then slid out of bounds. Like what? Like it's kind of, I don't know. The
Seahawks got a very favorable whistle yesterday.
Oh yeah,
the Seahawks did have a very favorable whistle last night. I'm not like I'm aware enough to know that the Seahawks had there was a face mask in the first quarter that they clearly missed on Stafford that would have given the Rams first and goal instead of having to kick a field goal. There was other moments later on. I thought there was a first down call late in the game that Cooper Kupp, they gave him the first down and it's like too close to challenge. The one that where Sean McVay threw the timeout and It was one of the many
coaching
mistakes that Sean McVay, one of the many coaching mistakes Sean McVay made on the day. But I am aware the Seahawks had a very favorable whistle. And there's probably a lot of people that think the Seahawks and Patriots are the two teams over the last decade that have had a very favorable whistle. But that's why they're heading to the Super Bowl. You need luck.
And one last thing, just like it's in this season, which seemed so unpredictable, the 2 1 seeds are playing in the Super Bowl. So it's like, was it really that unpredictable? You know what I mean? Like they're both, you think maybe a 6 or a 7 seed will make it to the Super Bowl because that's the kind of seasons it's been. There's no Patrick Mahomes, no Lamar Jackson, no Joe Burrow, no Dak Prescott even. But then it's the 1v1. So anyway, I thought I learned that that rule about possession, about the time running down was like, because Nacua's butt was inbounds, he was down before he slides out of bounds. I thought they had one more throw. Like give Stafford one more throw for everything on the line and see what happens. But he didn't get that one more throw. Great game though. So salute to your Seahawks. And I don't look forward to eating a whole container of sardines tomorrow as the loser of this bet.
I am so looking forward to it and not looking forward to looking at the chat because you said that number that gets people going crazy in the chat. You did. You said a number that is after 5. Don't do it again.
Wild card seeds. I thought wild card seeds might advance to the Super Bowl. How about that?
Well, I will let you know that I'm getting ripped to shreds by my friend Angie, who is watching the show. Hi to her. She is so mad. I read her message to me that said, do they all really think
Well, now you said her name. Before it was just
I know.
a friend.
Hi, Angie. Yeah. Hi, Angie. Thank you for lighting me up. Can't wait to see you later. Yeah. And I can't wait to know your guys' 416 ProLine picks. I gotta laugh. When watching your favorite sports, make things interesting with ProLine. Must be 18 plus to bet in store, 19 plus to bet online with ProLine Plus. Must be in the province of Ontario. Dan, do you want to say something before you give your line?
No, I was just saying we're coming off a double win here over the weekend. I had the Seahawks. Cab had Kyron Williams anytime touchdown. So we both get the win over the weekend. Let's try to carry those vibes into this week. I've got a Leon Draisaitl back in the Oilers lineup, and I think he gets on the score sheet tonight for the Oilers as they welcome in a team on the second half of a back-to-back. So let's get Leon Draisaitl for a goal tonight against the Anaheim Ducks.
I love the pick, Dan. Again, these are for entertainment purposes only. Hope you guys had some great entertainment over the weekend. Tonight, I'm sticking in the association. Boston is 1 game ahead of Toronto in the Eastern Conference and is home for 4 games against Portland, Atlanta, Sacramento, and Milwaukee. We all know that the Celtics are volume shooters from beyond the arc, second only to Golden State in 3-pointers made. So my play is Derrick White over 5.5 assists against the Portland Trailblazers. He's averaging 6 assists per game in January, and I anticipate a high-scoring affair and the Celtics to get back in the win column after losing to Chicago on the weekend. Derrick White over 5.5 assists is my ProLine pick of the day.
For entertainment purposes only, Cabbie will be downing a can of sardines tomorrow, and I am so excited. Make sure to join us for Off the Roster. We thank you for joining us on this Monday. And before we go, Dan, one more time, what is Ginger Jesus' grandpa's name?
Dick Hammer.
See you guys tomorrow. Happy Monday.
Hope you enjoyed this video. If you want more Off the Roster content, make sure to like and hype this video and subscribe to the Nation Network YouTube channel.